You guys all hear me okay? Okay, we're on. Hey gang, it's November 2nd, 2017, and you are watching Sneakerphiles Live.
What's going on, guys?
Hey everybody, this is Eugene of the Sneakerphiles podcast, and you're watching Sneakerphiles Live with Brooke Hoetzer. And you can find us online at www.sneakerphiles.com. You can find us on Twitter at Sneakerphiles and on Instagram at Sneakerphiles_podcast. So here's your host, Brookie Doo.
What's going on, guys? We're here coming at you live once again every Thursday at 7 o'clock Eastern time. So, yeah, what's going on? What's going on with you tonight, Eugene?
I'm actually in the middle of... I had to leave work to do this live stream, but like that's just the way it is. They won't miss me for a couple of hours. I don't mind. And right now we're at Stay Fresh. We are setting up for like the big warehouse sale that's happening tomorrow. We're in the middle of pricing, setting up the actual physical location, but other than that, it's just straight up work. And like it's a not the prettiest day outside. It's like raining like crazy, so hopefully it'll clear up for the sale tomorrow. So what's up with you the last 7 days or so?
Yeah. Before I tell you what's up with me, I just have to know, because I've been watching your videos on YouTube and I've been seeing like a lot of different things about you, just talking about a lot of different shoes, you guys posting a lot of different shoes at your at Stay Fresh. Do you ever get like tired of looking at shoes? Like, is it something that you feel like could kill your vibe about being around that type of culture like all the time?
Well, here's the thing, man. Like, yeah, it's one of the things people always ask me this. Like, working within the sneaker industry, like, do you get tired of looking at sneakers? Is it dangerous to work that closely with sneakers and like kind of like your hobby becoming your work kind of deal, and you kind of lose interest? The thing is, okay, everything comes in, and then like all the time we get very exciting and very exclusive stuff. Yes, that's super exciting, and like that's the part that gains my interest and like gets me excited about sneakers, even though I work with them. When you get, say, a general release and you get 50 pairs or 100 pairs of the same thing, and you have to check them and you have to stock them and do inventory, that part is not as exciting as, say, hey, we just got a size run of the Royal Ones, or hey, we got one of each of the Off-Whites. Like, that's exciting, and like every day something like that happens. So just because it's mundane work doesn't mean there are absolutely exciting things happening within, you know, the sneaker culture at the store at all times.
No, I totally get what you're saying there. I've had like situations where, like, you know, I've had companies contact me about working for them, and at the same time, like, I love my current job. I have a really great job, and I've met a lot of great people doing it. But I always wondered, like, if I did work for Nike, or if I did do something like this, would it really take away like the passion and like the excitement for sneakers if it's something that I'm constantly looking at? And it's not even about that. It's more about like dealing with that like retail shit that, like, you know, like that people ruin it for you. But yeah, so past 7 days, yeah, let's talk about it. So I came up kind of with like a November plan, which is like my strategic plan. I'll kind of use an example. My girl right now is doing something called No Shit November, where she doesn't eat anything bad for her. So I'm just not going to buy anything that like I feel that I don't really need or that I don't want to have, because I don't know if you guys know, but this November there is a lot of heat coming out, and I know I'm super excited about it. I know you are, Eugene. So yes. What are your top... Give me two top 3 shoes that are coming out this November that are definitely on your list to grab.
Jordan 11s, and definitely I like the Beluga 2s. If they're coming out, they're not confirmed, but the Yeezy Beluga 2s are interesting to me. And hopefully, maybe I can get at least one of the Off-White, the 10 drops. Those are the ones that are like I really want. The rest is like, if I have money, if it's on sale or anything like that, everything else is like, I can wait.
No, I feel you on that. Um, I totally agree with you on that. I definitely want an off-white. I definitely want the Vapor Max. Although Sean Go, shout out to him again. I've been shouting out to him a couple weeks. I actually talk to him sometimes on social media, and hopefully he'll be on the show soon. But besides that, he did a really great review of the Zoom Flies, and they're actually super, super sick. So I'm even interested in perhaps copping a pair of those if I can't get the off-whites. What my plan is why not go for a shoe that isn't as hype? That way you have a better chance of getting it too, you know?
Yes.
But those are just my thoughts. But I definitely want a pair of the off-whites. I'm definitely really interested in this Vans collaboration. I know you probably would like the North Face Vans collaboration that is coming out. And honestly, the Jordan 11s and the Purple Flyknit trainers are kind of the only shoes that are really in my realm that I really want this month at all.
I know that you're into like more of the not obscure kind of shoes, but like the Vans Off-White. It's one of those things where I believe that not too many people are like, I can't wait for that drop. You also said you wanted those Converse 1-stars, right? How did that go?
Yeah, it went panicky. So I did get them this morning, but I'm a little nervous about the sizing. Because supposedly you would think that the 1-stars, because in my opinion they kind of resemble a Vans, but they do fit supposedly very big. I talked to Sneaker Talk on the social media because I know he's a real big Converse person. He told me to go either down a full size or a half size. So this morning when I went on Nike, they didn't have any half sizes, and I was a little scared to get a size 6. So I got a size 7, and then I saw sneakers and stuff had a 6.5. So I got a 7 and a 6.5. But if one doesn't fit me, they're going to my friend. So that kind of came up clutch, or you can always return one with Nike, which is nice. But besides that, I really, really was happy that I was able to get a pair because I really love Tyler, the Creator's music. I really like the meaning behind his whole brand and the shoes. And something that I'm going to talk about more in the discussion coming up is going to be kind of more of the realm of what I'm really looking to get into for myself, kind of staying away from just like obnoxious heat, more kind of focusing on like life and just different things like that, and kind of taking a break from always having to get like a Yeezy or anything like that. Like we talked about the ones that are coming out around Christmas, and in my opinion, I'm really not feeling all of them, where I would just get them and probably resell them if I came across them.
Well, I know the Yeezys are always worth money and like this and that, and it's always a kind of luxury to be living in a city that carries a lot of these stuff. And I know that you are not really against reselling. In fact, like taste and style and all that change, and you're just updating your collection. So it's not like I find that it's totally okay to be like, I just want this for now, and if I change my mind later, then I'll let it go. It's just I have a hard time. Yeah. I have a hard time letting sneakers go. Like I do resell once in a while. Like if say I got a double, or if like I'm like, what was I thinking when I bought this shoe? Like that's when I usually do the reselling. Like I have like 20 something pairs of NMDs that I haven't worn yet, and then like now that I'm like I don't even like NMDs that much anymore. What am I gonna do with those? So it's just taste kind of fluctuates with me a lot.
No, I totally agree with you, and I want to call out something in the chat that Frankie New York State of Mind 23 said, and I 150% agree with you on this. In my opinion, I'm more now looking toward shoes that like I may have missed out on, or I wasn't like necessarily interested in at first, because now there's so many shoes that I see that are older shoes that I'm like, wow, like why was I so stupid? I really want them. I really wish I would have had them in my collection, but I don't. So that's just something that I'm actually kind of working on towards myself right now, is getting into things that maybe I did not get, or just like older things that people don't have. Because I don't know what it was, but something just hit me that I was just like, I looked at, my grail wall, I call it my bedroom, and I have a couple Yeezys on there. And something just hit me, and I was like, why? Like, why do I have these anymore? Like, it's just not like me. Like, I really don't want to be a part of like that anymore. And so I'm in the pursuit right now of selling all of them. just because there's other things that I want, and they're just, to me, like the hype that they have value of, like it doesn't mean anything. Like in my opinion, an Air Jordan that like Michael Jordan played basketball in or Michael Jordan had is worth way more than a pair of shoes that Kanye West hyped up.
Absolutely.
So I think that just, to me.
I know. For anyone that's following me on Instagram, I reposted a picture of someone selling a pair of OG Chicago 1s, I believe, and they are beat to hell. Like, they are absolutely destroyed. And the way that this Chicago 1, the OG Chicago 1, was destroyed, it just, to me, it tells so much story. Every single little stain, little scratch, a little imperfection in the shoe just tells a story. Whereas everyone is trying to keep all their Yeezys brand new and clean, and when everyone at the mall's doing that, that loses a lot of the message that the shoe should be representing, like exclusivity or like hype and all that stuff. And like, what's so exclusive about it when I can see more people wearing Yeezys than a Jordan 1 nowadays? So
yeah, like to me, like it just doesn't make sense. Like to me, like an off-white Jordan 1 is amazing, or an off-white Vapor Max, in my opinion, is just so much better than buying a Yeezy. I don't know if it was just people kind of like just overhyping things kind of made me mad, or what it was, but I just kind of got out of the realm, and I was just like, you know what, like I don't want no parts of, like I don't want them anymore in my collection. I just don't care for them.
Yeah,
but
I know that, we always not diss the Adidas Yeezys, just they're not special anymore, and that's the only thing I still want the new ones, but I don't get excited about them anymore. The only reason why we get excited is like if they're like something really, really unique, and I'm more excited about some of the retros and some of the newer sneakers than I am. Like the Vapor Max, probably one of my favorite silhouettes of the year. And
yes.
Because that's exciting, and that's something new.
Yeah.
And not just rehash or reiteration something. And like I can talk about how awesome the Vapor Max is all day. And the only thing about Yeezys, I'm like, they're worth a lot, and they're hyped, and they're hard to get. And like, that's the entire conversation for the last 2 years, and it's kind of been done to death on the podcast. So
totally. Now, do you think with all these Yeezys coming out and everything with this month, it's going to kill the hype? Are they going to turn into an NMD or a Boost?
No, I don't think they're going to turn into an NMD or a Boost. If they released like, I don't know, like 20 pairs a month, or like 10 pairs a month, like 10 different kinds a month, then like obviously they would oversaturate the market, and that's what the NMDs did. And the Yeezy Boost themselves, they're still very much sought after, just because the relationship it has with Kanye West and how it's tied in. So yeah, man, it's just, I'm always telling people, like, people wearing certain Jordans, you can tell they're sneakerheads, right? But people
for sure.
But like people that wear Boosts or Yeezy Boost, you have to really get to know them before you can decide whether or not they're like just a hype beast, they just want to follow a trend, or if they're actually a sneakerhead. So it's kind of a vague area for me when it comes to I don't know, is it sneaker culture, or is it just fucking modern contemporary fashion? It's just such a gray area and such a thin line between those two with that silhouette.
So yeah, you bring up a really great point with people not knowing exactly what things are. For example, there's this guy that I do some business with when I do resell with. He's actually a good reseller. He knows his shit. But then there was this other kid that I guess saw that like me and him were friends, and he knew that I had a lot of shoes, so he got in contact with me. It was about a shoe that I was selling, and this kid didn't know anything about like any of it. He was just trying to make money, not knowing what he was doing. It's kind of like you go to school for like accounting, and then you're like a scientist. Like, it's not anything that you know. Like, people get into the sneaker game for the wrong reasons, and that's kind of where it's starting to really lose like its edge. But we can talk about that for days and days and days on end. But so pretty much this week, I'll kind of, before we get into like news and our main topic, I'll discuss what I've picked up. I was successful this morning with Supreme. I was able to get a burgundy zip-up hoodie. And I actually wanted the long sleeve, and it's crazy, but the long sleeve actually sold out faster than the zip up did. But I was able to secure that. I also recently treated myself to, you know about this one, Eugene, the Bape wallet. I was in, I wanted to get a new wallet and feeling some Bape. So that was a pickup, and the 1-star Converse as well. I got the yellow colorway. But there's a couple other things that are in like my radar, but it's just a very big month, and I want to try to keep what I get to what I really want and what I just want in my collection.
That's fair enough. Like I said, it's just me trying to cop shoes or anything as of late. It's just not easy because like work is hard and shit's expensive. But
yeah,
I do have a lot of stuff on my radar. It's just like there's so much I can't keep up anymore. And
yeah, there really is. It sucks.
So I'm not complaining that there's a lot for me to choose from. I'm just saying like there's only so many hours I can work and so much money I can make, and how I can buy stuff it's just not easy for me at the moment. So that's why like the other day I was like hitting you up and like, hey, can you help me cop some Supreme shit? And then you're like, sorry, brother, you're on your own. I'm like, all right.
Yo, don't play it like that.
You tell me what happened.
Yo, I would have totally been out for you if I didn't need to as well do it. But hey, you made out, you copped.
Maybe.
Jason got you.
Yeah, maybe. Shout out to Jason. He was in the chat earlier. Hopefully he still is. He kind of hit me up with a message right before we were about to go on saying that he thinks he copped something. It's one of those things where like you buy something on Supreme, you got to make sure they ship. You got to make sure you get a confirmation email. And like buddy of mine that lives in here over here in Vancouver, apparently he ordered the Arabic hoodie from a few drops ago, and like when the package showed up, it was like a lady's fucking sweater that was in the box. So
someone probably fucked him through whatever shipping department that was.
Like it goes through so many different like set of hands before it gets to your door, right? So like anywhere along that line something might have happened. It's just really odd, and I feel terrible for him. Like the only thing they can do is he can claim or file a claim and like hopefully get his money back. But like I don't know, man. That's just a crazy bummer that he got something so elusive, and like it just fucking now he doesn't have it. He never even got a chance. So, and if someone did steal it, it's like, dude, like someone got this thing, they didn't even earn it, they didn't even try. All they had to do was kind of take it. That's the part that pisses me off.
Yeah, man. So like for an example, I purchased something off of the Antisocial Club July 4th, and I still haven't gotten any of my shit, and I spent $150, and I haven't gotten refunded. I haven't got any. I email these motherfuckers like every day, and I'm like, hey, where's my stuff? Hey, me again. Hello, here's my order number. Where's my stuff? No response, nothing. It's just crazy how like for me, after this experience, I will never buy a single fucking thing from them again, like ever, going forward. But
I bet like ASSC, like they're probably like this close to getting like a class action lawsuit for like withholding a delivery or something. I don't know, like it's gonna take something like that. And
dude, it's crazy. Jason said he waited 2 months. That's wild. Anti-shipping club. Yeah.
And I don't know how you could just take someone's money and not ship. They're like fucking big baller brand now, and it's like,
yeah, it's bullshit.
And like, is this a pre-order? Like, or are we ordering? Like I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know how they can still be in business and people still want their stuff, but their hype is dying down, which is maybe deserved. So,
yeah, it's kind of crazy. Oh, and I did cop the Nike Supreme, like just the pink hat. I got that out of the collection. I actually purchased a pair of the pink shoes, but they ran too big, so I had to move them. And I'm kind of mad that I even did, because I really wanted the jacket out of all of that, and that was actually the thing that sold out the fastest when they re-released it on Nike Lab. But that's about it. What I really have going forward on is kind of something I'll talk to you guys about. I'm just going to call it, my queue. So like what I'm really leaning towards on more getting, and that's just going to be a couple things, like the Vans, the Flyknits, the Jordan 11s, and Off-White collection. With the fact that I'm selling pretty much all of my Yeezys, if I cannot cop it at retail, I will pay resale for it, because that is a shoe that I just really want. So that's pretty much it. So let's get into some of this news that pretty much is making this November super duper hard for all of us to kind of really be patient and not buy everything with. So if anyone in the chat wants to drop down what they're most looking forward to, please do so, and we'll chat about that. But I'm really into the purple Flyknit trainers. I know you said that you like them, Eugene. What did you think about something I want to bring up, the Dornbecker pack?
We talked about this at length last night on the podcast that comes out probably this Sunday if I can get the edit done on time. As with every Dornbecker freestyle release, collection, if you will, it's a lot of hit or misses because they use silhouettes that aren't particularly my favorite. Like, as much as I love the Huarache, it's not really my favorite one to get customs on. I usually buy, like, the old OG colorways, like the Michigans and like stuff like that was really important to me. And, like, the freestyle pack, like, they have the Vapor Max, which is really interesting. I don't know if I would ever wear it, but like Joe was saying, he would probably like buy it to say that it's like a trophy piece. You know, he donated money and got a nice pair of shoes, and it's just not for him to wear. And of course, everyone's not going after, but probably the most high profile of that release would be the Air More Up Tempos and the Jordan 12s, and deservedly so, because a Jordan and like basketball shoes always go up, right? In the hype level with the collection. So we've seen them play with the script on the side of the Air More Up Tempos with, say, the Supreme one, where it says Supreme wrapped around the shoe, and this one says like BPM, and like it's interesting because it's like that to me seems more like a custom than, say, a like a special colorway to me. So that itself has not monetary value, but it has like a creative aspect value to me because they're literally changing up the makeup of the shoe. That's interesting to me. And also the Jordan 12s it's I don't even know how to describe it. It's like Jordan 12s always do very well in special colorways and stuff, and I'm just glad that they're releasing a nice or a better, a well-received Jordan for this collection this year. So the Dornbecker Freestyle Collection, great cause, great idea, and like, you know, it's charitable and everything good about it. So I have nothing bad to say about it except for I probably won't be able to get any at retail, and people are reselling these for personal profits, and they kind of lose the message along the way with why this.
Yeah, don't you think that's a little fucked up? Like, for them to at least if you're gonna resell it, like, give it to the fucking kids that are sick. Like, people just make me sick. But that's just so messed up. Like, the fact that like a whole collection of sneakers that are for kids that are sick or that are dying or have died. Yes. Is just being taken advantage of. But you know what? Whatever. But I think that the pack is super sick. I personally wouldn't purchase any just because it's not in, as Hypeless Joe would say, my lane. So I'm not really into all that wild, like loud, really colorways. I am more of just solid. The only wild shoes I have are ones that I love, which are my acronyms. Yeah. And I kind of just want to keep it that way. But someone did just bring up a really good point here. I'd rather send money to the hospital and not have to deal with the shoes taking up closet space. So, I mean, yeah, you can always donate if it is something that, you are about. But there was another comment in here, too, I want to talk about. So, before we get into the next, did you have anything more to say about this one, Eugene?
Yeah, we kind of explored the idea of how you can like be charitable and get something in return, and I really like how the Michael J. Fox Foundation kind of approached the release of the 2016 or whatever Nike mags, the self-lacing ones, and instead of auctioning it off so the highest bidder gets them, so technically there's only so many pairs made and like each one will fetch X amount of dollars for it. They just had like a $10 raffle, an unlimited amount of raffle entries. So like the ceiling to the contributions could be limitless, right? So like if you win a pair, then you can potentially buy the pair for like $10. But if you lose the raffle, then technically you've just donated money, and like you can claim it at the end of the year and this and that. So I like that approach. Just have an open not cash, but an open contributionally suggested kind of raffle system, like donate $10 and there's your one raffle entry, and like that was super successful. They raised millions of dollars just on a very limited amount of shoes. Whereas if you were to say release 500 pairs of the DB collection at a set price, there's a ceiling, there's a limit to how much you can get for charity. So I thought that Michael J. Fox Foundation approach was very, very successful.
Yeah, that's a great concept and a way to kind of do things without feeling like, you know, you don't have to like purchase anything major. So that's a really great point that you bring up here. Something else that I kind of want to touch on, where someone mentioned it in the chat, is the air. So the Complex Con is dropping so much heat that is only available at Complex Con. Which, I mean, it may make people in November not really struggle as much if it is something that's super duper hype that they can't really necessarily get. But have you seen some of the sneakers that they've been like going on about releasing? It's been just on Twitter all day long today.
Yep, they have one of the off-white. I forgot which one. Is Air Max 1 or something like that? One of the off-whites is going to be exclusive to Complex Con. Maybe for the time being. I don't know. They have 2 Human Race NMDs. Both are really, really nice. But yeah, man, like if between the two, have you seen the 2 NMDs that should be dropping a Complex Con? There's an NERD one and a Chanel one.
Yeah, the NERD one's all right, but I'm over the whole NMD phase. If I had to pick one, it would be.
You have a pair of Human Race though, don't you?
Sold them.
Oh, good for you, I guess.
Yeah,
Air Force
it was
Ones.
actually.
Sorry, correction. It's not the Air Max one. It's the Air Force One off-whites. Thanks, Victor Chow and Jason.
They actually had those Air Force Ones on the sneakers app as a Chicago stash. So if you were in Chicago, you could sign up to get them or something like that, which was kind of cool. The sneakers app is super cool. Hopefully you guys do get it soon in Canada. There's a lot of really great benefits in having that app. But something that really intrigued me, but I will fetch about the NMDs really quick. The Chanel ones, in my opinion, if you fucking wear those Chanel NMD, like, who wears Chanel? That, like, how did that even happen? That's what I want to know. Why not, like, Gucci? Like, why the fuck Chanel? Bad taking that for Adidas. Chanel just reminds me of a thought, so I would not want anything to do with it. But what I'm more interested in those top 3s that they're coming out with. Have you seen the gold top 3s?
I just saw pictures like earlier today, but how do you feel about that makeup though?
It's shiny, but I love them. Out of every sneaker that's releasing at Complex Con, besides the Olive 97s are really nice, I would take the top 3 over them anyway.
I don't really mess with too many. I don't really mess with too many metallic colorways of sneakers. Like it's just a little too gaudy for me. Like I know nothing against people that like that stuff, but it's just not for me. But you know, nice shoe is a nice shoe, and yeah, the 97 is actually more interesting to me. What do you think about those?
I'm a sucker for any like darker color, especially olive. Greens are like one of my favorite colors. So I'm definitely excited about that, but what are you gonna do, right?
Yeah.
Can't get them unless I want to pay resale. But I really like the 97s. The 97s and the top 3s. I definitely would take the top 3s though over the 97s. Just because in my heart too, I really want the top 3 ones that came out last year, but I haven't gotten them. That might be a pickup after November.
You might be able to get them sooner or later. But,
hopefully, we'll see.
But come on, November is gonna get you like crazy broke.
That's why you got to be strategic, baby.
All right. So what do you got next?
Yeah. All right, cool. So the next one I want to talk about some shoe that kind of intrigued me. I don't know if any of you guys watch Stranger Things. If you do, I just finished season 2.
Wait. I just finished episode 2. So if you're gonna say anything spoilery,
no, I'm not gonna do any spoilers. I was just gonna say you guys are in for a treat. Season 2 was lit. It was really good. It was amazing. I really love Stranger Things, but they're actually coming out with a shoe with Reebok. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's kind of like a high top Reebok, and it says Ghosts on it, and just kind of has like the writing on, like just different writing on it and material. And in my opinion, they're fucking fire. So I like them a lot. I think that they're super cool. They're pretty cheap too, so it's kind of like a shoe that you could just beat the shit out of for the fall and not really worry about it.
I don't. Do you think the hype of this release is strictly based on the popularity of the show right now, or the people are
Yeah,
actually?
for sure.
Okay, fair
Totally.
enough.
Like look at the show, and let's also use an example of the one star, the Tyler the Creator ones. Because Tyler the Creator's name is in it, just like Stranger Things is in the Reebok, or those big, what were those clunky Reebok shoes that came out with months ago? It was based off of like an older movie or something. They were like yellow.
Alien, the Alien
Yeah.
Stompers.
Yeah, and people bought it because of that. Now
Yeah,
look at the Converse One Stars and look at the Converse One Stars that are still sitting on the shelves because it doesn't have Tyler the Creator's name in it. It's all about the hype.
I
You know that.
I
Kanye West
I
and Power phases.
I understand, but like our sneakerheads are like, I need shoes from the '80s, like so I can be like strange. I don't get it.
But yo, that is like the realm that's going on right now. Like if you go into like a PacSun or you go into like a Zoomies or you go into anywhere or you go into Urban Outfitters, all the shit that they're selling is shit that was from like forever, like Tommy Hilfiger, Fila, like Champion. Back like 2 years ago, you could walk into Kohl's and get all that shit for so cheap. Or
Champion's
Marshalls
always been
and
lit though. Champion's
yeah,
never been out of
like
style.
it's
I understand like the '80s is very very strong, kind of nostalgic, kind of I don't know, but like you're not an '80s kid as far as I understand, but like how does the '80s kind of lifestyle and the trend that's making a comeback right now, how does that affect you, and how do you perceive this trend right now? Because like we got like Transformers, we got Ninja Turtles and all that shit coming
yeah.
back, and you got Stranger Things, which is not only like takes place in the '80s, but it's a show that's shot and directed like a show from the '80s. Like how does this impact the pulp cultural references to your knowledge?
Yeah, so I think it's a huge impact. I mean, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I have some crazy hair that I can like rock very well with different types of styles, and I've always been into that like urban hipsterish like just like classic look. So like all these different brands coming out and different things like that, I love it. I think it's great. I remember back like forever ago, it was more people were wearing like casual wear, like tighter things. Now people like things that are like loose. They kind of like that like oversized look. So I think it's dope. I'm into it. I think it's totally something that is changing multiple cultures, which is what I'm going to break into in a couple minutes before we talk about a couple more shoes that are coming out. So I won't go too far into it. But did any of you guys see leaks of the Vapor Max mids? Have you seen any of those photographs, Eugene?
I did see them. I don't know if they're an actual photos, official photos, or are they photoshopped? I have no idea, but anytime they put a mid or a high top on a high performance running shoe, it never looks right to me. They tried it with the was it all terrain Ultra Boost, and that looks kind of wrong to me. And they're doing it with this, and it's just something about the sleekness of the Vapor Max is it should be preserved with a low cut. That's just my opinion.
No, I agree with you. I just don't. I really hope that they don't kill that shoe. That's something that I'm kind of also a little bit worried about because I really love the Vapor Max, and if they're going to kind of kill the shoe because of that, it's kind of going to piss me off. But it kind of reminds me of a sneaker boot a little bit. Like I saw a couple pictures and I was like, but I like the Vapor Maxes, you're right, how they have that like sleek little look to them. So I hope that that's not something that goes crazy in effect where they start releasing just so many different types of styles and they kind of kill it like they did with Ultra Boost. Even though they have been coming out with a lot of different colorways, and trust me, it's really hard not to cop them. But that price point on a Vapor Max is just so high that 190 hits fucking hard. So that's kind of going to lead into into the main topic. But another shoe that I kind of saw, where was it? Where is it at? Did you see those Japan 97s that are coming out? I really feel like it's like going to be the year of 97s.
It already is the year of the 97s.
Yeah.
It's the 20th anniversary of the Air Max 97s, and like I predicted before, the Silver Bullets were one of those sought-after shoes back in the day, and people didn't realize what they were missing all this time, because I'm guessing it's not the first time they've ever retroed 97s. And even to me, like they looked kind of odd. Just looking at pictures, but like seeing them in person and on foot, wearing the right socks and the right outfit, those are one of the most iconic and the most, you know, like, very well represented in that lifestyle. It's just that shoe is so 90s to me, and that means a lot. And it's so timeless, that shoe, and people finally realize how awesome the Silver Bullet is, and the undefeated ones that just recently released, and even the Skepta Ultras. Ultra's not my favorite, but it's still a very nice looking shoe. But now that we're seeing a lot more iterations of this silhouette, people are finally catching on to why this Air Max 97 is such an iconic shoe and how important it is. So yeah, the 97 is definitely one of my favorite releases of the year. And those Japan ones are, I don't know, they haven't done too many things wrong with the 97s yet, even though they've had so many released already.
I really wish I didn't sleep on those 97s that were in the they were in like that electric blue. That's like a regret that I have, because I really wanted them, and I'm like, no, they'll sit, and they sold out like super quick. But no, I totally agree with you. I love the 97s. When I'm in my room and I'm like trying to run out, or I'm getting ready for work and I pack my gym bag and I'm just trying to think of a quick shoe to grab, I always will grab either my Skeptas or my OG Silver Bullets, just because I just feel like they're just a super like just OG shoe that you really can rock with anything, especially in those two colors that I have. Maybe not so much the Skepta, but definitely the silvers. So that's just something else that I'm really excited about on seeing more colors, and I'm really excited about if the pictures for Air Max Day are true with those 97s that are going to be released. They're kind of cool in my opinion. So that's definitely something that I'm really into. And something that I kind of want to dive into, I really didn't bring up too much news-wise, because I know a lot of people are more focused on kind of like the Off-Whites. They are dropping like a lot of Adidas and a lot of Yeezys. But in my personal opinion, I'm not really looking forward to any of those drops. I'm more really focused on being able to get a pair of the Off-Whites. And it's kind of, I don't know if you guys can relate, but the Off-Whites, it's kind of hard to kind of keep track of where they're all releasing, when they're all releasing. So definitely make sure that you're following like different sites on Twitter, or you have notifications turned on, because once those suckers drop, you're not ready, you're going to miss out.
I know that you are big into social media and you're on Instagram quite a bit. You make multiple posts a day. And I
try.
I don't know how I'm very lazy with Instagram, but like how often, like how many quote unquote sneakerheads do you follow on Instagram? Quite a few?
Quite a few, yes.
So how lit up is your feed right now? Just watching fucking IG raffle entries just popping up one after another. Just
it's wild, but I know everyone's shoe size.
It's crazy. Like every other post I see on my feed is just someone entering
size 11, size 7. Yeah, it's crazy. No, and you know what? You bring up a really great point. We kind of talked about this earlier in the chat. Is about like, working with shoes, getting sick of them, or kind of defeating it. It's really tough to be good and have a budget when you're following so many different things, and you're following different things on Twitter, and it will be like restock, link here, just live, buy now. And it's just like all these like little birds are just like, buy the fucking shoe. And you're just like, no, I can't. Like, and it's just so hard because you just have all these distractions in front of you.
Yeah.
So if anyone else feels the same way, drop a comment. Like, do you guys ever have to turn your notifications off, or you have to kind of like stop following certain stuff because it just becomes where it's just overwhelming and you're like, shit.
It is one of those times where like I even made like a fucking joke post on Twitter saying like, I see a lot of raffles going on IG, follow us and you can tag me all you want for your 3 tag of friends kind of deal. Like, I understand like people want them, and if they can win a pair without even leaving their house, more power to them. Like, why not?
Yeah.
It's just, I don't need to be seeing the same post 14 times a day. That's all.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. And it kind of sucks. A lot of the raffles, like, we can't even do here at US. It's all, like, in-store pickup to, like, the end, sneakers and stuff. Like, I'm not going to fucking buy a plane ticket. I'll just buy them off StockX. Like, if that's the case, So that's kind of crazy. But we talked about a lot of releases, so let's get into our main topic, and then we're going to open it up to the chat and kind of just have a discussion. So the main topic is kind of brought off on the conversation I was having in earlier of the chat, and I said we'll get to that. Whereas we're really starting to see a lot more people focus more on apparel than sneakers. And now that I think about it more, like I just, talked about the Vapor Max, it's $190 for those sneakers, whereas you can, rock a dope outfit and wear a pair of Vans. Like, what are your thoughts on that, Eugene?
Okay, before I give you my thought, I'll just tell you how I've seen the trend, okay? We've been to 2 or 3 of the sneaker conventions over here in Vancouver, and they're sneaker conventions. And I also went to SneakerCon in Toronto, like the SneakerCon in Toronto, which is great. Actually, I'll tell you something off air after. But so I went to SneakerCon, which is great. And then, like, of course, these are all sneaker-driven events for sneakerheads, right? But you go there, it's legit 75% Supreme and Bape clothing, and even accessories. So it's so odd to me that we're going to a sneaker event, and the most money being made are tables that are selling clothes. So I understand that it's all under the same umbrella of streetwear and fashion that the sneakers go with. It's just I don't know what the demographic is nowadays for people spending money, like how they distribute their spendings on streetwear and shoes. Like, we buy a pair of shoes, okay, and like if you have to pay $50 over retail on a pair of shoes that you really want, you're like, oh man, should I do it? And you think about it for days. But these kids are spending 5 times as much. They're paying $1,000 for like a $200 hoodie that Supreme makes without blinking an eye. So it looks like the kind of spending that's being aggressively geared is towards streetwear right now. I'm not saying it's a good trend or a bad trend. I'm just saying that's the trend I've noticed. How I feel about it? Great. I don't mind it, because it still drives awareness to fashion, and fashion does dictate the kind of sneakers we like to buy as well. I always consider it under the same kind of umbrella, sneakers and fashion. And just because I dress sloppy and I don't know what I'm doing doesn't mean like these kids can't fucking kill it. But the way they're spending money, but like the way these kids are spending money, like 5, 6, 7, 800% the retail price without thinking about it, that just blows my mind. Whereas if people have to think really hard how much extra they want to pay for a pair of shoes over retail.
No, you bring up a really great point with the question that you put in the chat: streetwear versus, footwear. Like, what are you spending more money on, or sneakers? And it's kind of interesting because the more you think about it, Supreme dropped today. Shoe drops. You want something from Supreme, it's $200. You want a shoe, that's $200. That's $400 that you just spent. $400. And you're right, blink of an eye. And we talked about this before we went on the chat. Like, you see something come up, you're just like, fuck it, don't care how much it is, add a cart, add a cart, add a cart, add a cart, add a cart. Oh, shit. Like, it's just like, oh, man, like, wow. So you bring up a really great point, and sometimes it comes down to, like, should you take a break from then streetwear, or should you take a break from sneakers? Because there's a drop that you really want from Supreme, and then there's a shoe that you want, or, 2 or 3 shoes and 2 or 3 drops, you're really racking it up. And that's even if you get it at retail. Resale is crazy. I've only spent resale on 3 Supreme items, and it wasn't too terrible over retail. One was a little pricey. The item was $40, and I spent $80 on it. But I justify doing like other things to kind of like make my money up. Like, I look after some woman's dogs. I'll be like, all right, this is the money I'm going to use if I got to pay resale. Like, I kind of use certain ways that I have coming in different ways to be able to, afford my expensive habits.
Yeah, the chat's chiming in right now. It looks like our demographic in the chat seems to be people that are mainly concerned about sneakers, and they're like, maybe if we did like a streetwear fucking podcast, it'll be a different crowd. But at the same time, I always notice like the same crowd being like, oh, I love sneakers, and then they eventually gravitate towards streetwear as well. Like, the odd thing is, like, I was kind of like, I don't want to be like a fucking Supreme hipster, but like I was kind of just strolling into a Supreme store when I visited certain areas of the world that had a store, and I'm like, that's interesting. I'll buy it. I buy it, and I didn't even know that Supreme was like such a underground hype thing at the time. But like now that it's blown up to be mainstream, like it's not worth the trouble for me to get. If someone hands it to me for retail, yeah, I'll fucking take it. But the trouble is not worth it to me. Like these kids that are crazy passionate about the streetwear brands, great for them. If they're reselling, bad for everyone else, right? But it's just such a different time nowadays that, do you think the sneaker industry is suffering because, like, when I say suffering, I mean like things are sitting on shelves way more than we've ever been accustomed to the last decade. Do you think the sneaker industry is suffering because of the popularity of streetwear though?
I think stores like Foot Locker, Finish Line, like Champs, maybe not Finish Line because I feel like Finish Line does better than Foot Locker. I don't know why. I just feel like they do. But I feel like they're more at risk than rather like major retailers. Like I feel like Nike will never fade. I feel like Adidas could. It might just turn into something that is just kind of bland. I feel like I wouldn't be shocked if Kanye West left Adidas. And made his own brand.
Right.
I wouldn't be shocked about that at all. I do feel like there are, more heat, like with Bape, with Supreme, with, Palace, with all the Kith, with all these different places. Like Kith is sometimes when you get apparel, it's harder than even copping a pair of sneakers. And I feel like that's just what the hype is right now, like maybe people are more concerned in the way that they dress rather than what they have on their foot. And sometimes, you can't, like, I'm kind of at a point too where I really want, but I love sneakers too much that just have like a small rotation of just shoes that I love. And like I wear a lot. I don't want to wake up and have to like really think hard on what I want to wear. Like I want to have more of kind of like a go-to. And it's hard when you like sneakers because you're just like, oh, like I sent you pictures all the time. I'm like, yo, these just dropped. Should I get them? Like it's just so hard. Like it's tough.
It's just, I don't know. I think I've collected streetwear long enough to have like a full rotation. Like once in a while I would like do a quick little show off post on Instagram showing like, oh, I got this piece, and like I do have some pretty exclusive pieces in my wardrobe, but it doesn't mean like I'm fashionable. It just means I know what's trendy. Like I don't know if you can decipher the difference between like what I'm trying to say. Like I'm not a fashionable person at all. It's just I know the desirable pieces and what people want. And does that make something good? Does that make something fashionable if everyone else wants it? Like what's the criteria to being like fashionable nowadays?
Yeah, so I'm going to answer your question, then I'm going to answer some of the chats. I want to touch on what Jason just said, and also Ryan Swanger. You bring up a really great point. You, like, honestly, it does not fucking matter anymore. If you watch YouTube videos of these people when they go shopping, there's people that are wearing just jump shoots. If you have just a label on you, no one cares if it matches or if it doesn't. If you're rocking the label, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you can't pull it off, that's a different story. If you're just like you won't walk past some like 80-year-old man, maybe you would, and he's like wearing like a freaking Supreme shirt. Like you're not like, maybe it might be cool in that, but you know what I'm getting to. It doesn't really matter. It just matters that you have it. And Jason brings up a really great point. Out of all the brands, out of like Bape, I don't have any Bape clothing. Out of like I'll just say it though, but Bape, Supreme especially. If I had to choose between a box logo between Supreme and Kith, I would immediately pick Kith. Kith's clothing quality is worth every fucking penny. Now, Supreme, it's like a Gildan shirt. It's nothing that's really that, like, this is a Palace shirt, and I think that the quality on this is better than the quality on Supreme's. Their hoodies aren't even that comfortable. Like, I have a couple of their hoodies, and I'll go up to Leah, my girl, and she'll be like, oh my God, this hoodie hurts me. Like, it's not a comfortable hoodie. Like, it's even, like, if you ever go to a Supreme store, like, their dick's there, so is their clothing. It's hard. It sucks. But people just want it because of the label. That's all it's about.
I know that the Supreme hoodies, all the way up until a few years ago, they're actually manufactured in Vancouver in Canada. So that was kind of interesting. Like, you have to go all the way down to the States for a piece that was made like in my backyard kind of deal, and they're impossible to get. That's odd. But when Jason and you are pointing out that Kith is probably one of the biggest. They're not even. They're like one of the biggest sleeper streetwear brands to me right now. Their quality is amazing. Like having one of their.
I don't know, dude. Their Monday programs sell out like instantly. I can never get anything.
But you don't. I don't know, man. Like I don't see a lot of. I don't see a lot of Kith original apparels popping up on my Facebook groups under like the streetwear stuff. So that's what I mean by sleeper. Like people are buying them to keep, which is the right thing to do. No one, maybe no one's reselling Kith because they actually like the pieces. That's a huge difference between that and Supreme, and even on some level, even Bape, because they have special collectors Bape pieces that's worth a lot of money. But Kith, people buy it and they wear it, which is which is an awesome trend that is not practiced enough in this generation, if you ask me.
No, I so agree with you. Every time I go to New York, I really look forward to going to Kith just because the overall, just the atmosphere of the store is great. You can get yourself a milkshake, some ice cream, some cereal, whatever. Me and Hypeless Joe shared a milkshake there. So like Kith to me I love Kith. So that's even another reason why I love it so much, because I was able to connect with one of my sneaker brothers. And what's crazy is their quality is seriously so nice. Like I have a couple box logos from them. I also have a hoodie from them. And when I wear that, I feel like it is so much like I feel like I'm more dressed up than when I'm wearing just a Supreme t-shirt. Now don't get me wrong, some of the long sleeve shirts, like I was wearing one today. If you look at my Instagram, I posted a photograph. Make sure you follow me, give me a couple likes, whatever. I'm not gonna whatever you want to do. But check me out on Instagram and you'll see it. Like that kind of stuff is nice, but they're basic t-shirts like that sell for $1,000. Like to me, people are sleeping on like the other stuff that Supreme comes out with, that maybe it doesn't have like Scarface's face on it or something like that, but it's so much better quality. Like I have a really nice long sleeve shirt that I wore out a couple weeks ago and it was great quality. I got a bunch of compliments. It's just weird that the resale for a basic t-shirt when a nicer long sleeve shirt that is such better quality is so much more less. Whereas when we're talking about resale, it's wild.
Yeah, I know the resale game is what dictates how much or little people want certain pieces, and that kind of frustrates me a lot. It's just that...
Yeah, because it keeps you away from not getting them.
Yeah, like we talked about, like, someone like me that is emotionally and culturally attached to something like Akira, like, that drop means a lot to me, and anything that celebrates that manga or anime, if you will, that is something I would collect. Like I told you, man, I got like 4 different fucking versions of that movie on home video. I have a giant fucking laser disc of that movie just because it meant so much to me. And I don't even have a laser disc player. I have the soundtrack and I don't know Japanese. Like that's the kind of like enthusiasm I have for this collaboration. But like at the same time, it's gonna be all these kids that just know Supreme and know nothing about the source material that this thing is celebrating, that's going to get all the pieces and resell it to dummies like me that are just, not in it to fucking compete with this generation of online shoppers. Like, that's frustrating to me. But when you say, like, people drop into Kith and they buy the Mercer pants and they buy the fucking box logo hoodies and zip-ups and the t-shirts and they're keeping it for themselves because they're proud that they made an attempt to go to the store, visit the store. And, like, it's kind of like Kith is almost like a souvenir shop. You go there, you visit the place, and you buy a piece to bring home to say, I've been to Kith, look at my t-shirt kind of deal. It's kind of like you go to Disneyland and buy, like, a shitty Mickey Mouse doll for, like, way overpriced. I know it's not exactly like that, but it's kind of like a trophy piece when you go to Kith. It goes, I need to buy something Kith. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's a strong brand, and the way they connect with their customers, the way that they've renovated their space, everything about it is so contemporary and so made for their demographic that, like, they get it. And Supreme is starting to lose touch because, like, when you have a store that's like, hey, we have a crowd control outside and, like, VIPs get in first, and now they're alienating a lot of their crowd, where Kith is trying to be inclusive with the people that's willing to give them money.
Yeah, totally. You bring up a great point. And it's crazy because, like, in my opinion, Kith just looks nicer too. Like, it looks more sophisticated. It looks fancier. Like, Supreme's just a t-shirt. It really, honestly, is just a fucking t-shirt. It's just a t-shirt, god damn it. But yeah, so I really like Kip, and I definitely do think that this is something that is starting to become, like, what's his face? I don't really like to call people out. He does a lot of different types of, like, videos about purchasing, like, Supreme and shit like that. Blake Linder, is it?
Okay.
The one kid? Yeah. He used to kind of do, like, a lot of shoe reviews. Now it's more of just collecting pieces of different clothing brands. But he fucks with, like, Stone Island, like, hard stuff, like Off-White. I would love to get a picture, like, I would love to get a piece from Off-White, like, clothing-wise. But in my opinion, spending $300 just on a shirt, you could spill something on that shit. Like, that's what I think of. Like, when I wear some of my expensive stuff, and, like, I'll know, like, I was wearing a pair of white tech fleece pants, and me and Leah were about to eat tacos, and I was like, hold up, I gotta take my pants off. I'm not trying to fuck these up. Let me take these off real quick. Like, it's just something that, you know, you don't want to ruin either. So it's the day-to-day, and shit happens. Like, I did an overnight for work, and I was in Wawa, and I was wearing a pair of my Supreme Air Force.
Did you say Wawa?
Yeah, I was in Wawa.
Do you understand that no one outside Philadelphia knows what a Wawa's is?
All right, so a Wawa will change your life. You can get everything you want at Wawa. And so this guy just was ringing up the dude's coffee, and he totally fucking, like, I don't know what he was doing, but the coffee just flew in the air, and I was just, like, doing, like, the salsa dance, like, out of the way of it, and it almost got all over me. So it's just, like, things can happen. Like, how pissed would you be if you spent $500 on an Off-White piece and a bird took a shit on you while you were, like, walking outside? It's rough. Yes. But I think we kind of identified that most people in the chat here are more into kicks rather than the gear. So before we sign off, I want to take some time here to kind of any questions that any of you guys have, or kind of touch back if there's anything you see, Eugene, that oh, and I do want to shout out Jason. You're the man. He's going to be making me a pair of custom Flyknit racers, so stay tuned, guys, for that. I'm so excited to get them, and we're kind of whipping up some ideas, and I'm super excited for that. So I did want to tell you guys about that, and I also will be throwing together a lookbook on my website very soon. Rather than doing reviews, I kind of want to just give maybe some people that aren't really into the streetwear, maybe after you see the lookbook, you will be into.
First of all, before we sign off and start taking a few questions, if we have anyone that's wanting to ask us anything, is that once again I would like to thank everyone that's been watching, everyone that's joined the live chat. This entire show was developed around the live concept because we want to interact with you guys, and for anyone that's watching the repeat or afterwards on YouTube, that's why we have like this live chat pop up on screen, so that you do know how we interact with you guys, and that you will be recognized sooner later on if people are watching, and that you guys absolutely make this show what it is. And all the regulars like Frankie and Ryan and Victor's been here a few times, like all these guys, and Bobby Balenciaga, like thank you so much. And again, dropping by as Buckeye City Soul Kev last week, thank you for being a part of the show last week. It was awesome. And
yeah, Kev, it was great.
And once again, thank you guys so much. And you guys are the only reason why Brooke and I want to do this show is because it's for you guys. So anything you want to say, Brooke, before we start taking some of the questions and comments?
Yeah, definitely. I really want to say thank you so much, Kev, for coming out. We definitely want to have you guys, again, and anyone that's interested, shoot me or Eugene a DM if you want to come and chat with us, because we're just here, like he said, we're here because we love to talk about sneakers. We love to talk about news. We like to have a good time with all of you guys. So if anyone's interested in being on the show, slide in one of our DMs and we'll definitely work something out. So I'm going to say thank you again to Kev, and let me hit Ryan with where I get my glasses from. So I get my glasses from Warby Parker. If you haven't heard of them, definitely check them out online. They're actually super, super affordable, really great deals. It's like $95 for glasses and frames. You can send them your prescription too, And you can also do a try at home, so they'll send you 5 glasses, and you'll definitely be able to pick like which glasses you like out of them. And they have really great customer service, so check them out. They're great.
Yeah, so to bring back to the point of like no matter how much money you spend, it depends on how you fucking fit your style. Like I spend like $600 on my glasses. No one ever asks me where I get mine. You spend 95, and people are like, "Where'd you get yours?" So that kind of relates back to what we were talking about earlier. So great question, thank you. And Brooke, you're always getting fucking tipped or getting like style points for your fits. So good for you.
What can I say?
You gotta teach me what to do, man. Just tell me what to buy.
You. Help me what not to wear.
maybe next drop you'll help me out, huh?
Yeah, I got you.
No,
right?
you don't. You say that, you never will.
I will. Next drop, I got you.
Right,
I swear.
Good.
I'll just keep checking the restocks app tonight too. If they restock anything, I'll slide in the DM.
Oh, Ryan's got another question. What did you think of those new Nikes for running purposes?
Are you talking about the Zoom flies that I got?
Which ones did you get? Did you get like the crazy expensive one or the training ones?
No, so I just got the Zoom flies. I didn't get the 4% because they're for your actual race. You're not supposed to train in them, but I got the Zoom flies and I have been loving them. If you follow me on Instagram, I've been posting videos at the gym. I'm also trying to, get more into lifting weights as well. So I've been doing a lot more. I used to be really big on fitness and really posting a lot more on it. So I'm going to get back into that just because I do love to do it. So why not share my best practices with you guys? And yes, Ryan, let's have you on the show sometime. I am definitely into that. But for sure. But does Supreme ship to Canada? That question's for you, Eugene. But Ryan, yes, the Zoom flies are amazing. I want to get another pair for casual.
Supreme does ship to Canada, but the price of shipping and the duties that's involved with shipping directly to your home in Canada doesn't really justify. You calculate and like shipping doesn't cost that much more to ship to Canada, and like duties after that, you might as well pay for resale over here when someone gets a piece. So luckily for me, I live 45 minutes away from the U.S. border, and they do like Dropbox, mailbox services there for like an extra $5 you can pick up. So I much rather ship to the States if I can. It's just like the Supreme checkout system is so finicky that if anything doesn't match their billing and shipping address, they can cancel your order and this and that. They're so finicky on the checkout system that a lot of people don't take the chance and they ship it directly to their home, and like a fucking $20-$30 t-shirt will end up costing you $150 after everything else, right? So it really depends on how badly you want it.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. So I'll definitely keep a lookout for my boy then, since he keeps giving me shit. Yeah.
So
cool. So yeah.
Yeah. Do you want?
Anyone else have anything to say?
So I was just. All right. I actually have one more thing to ask you, but to kind of close it up. And we talked about this on the podcast, and this is just to like round out the entire conversation so we can sign out. And official images of the new Ultra Boost 4.0s have released. Do you think that's a right step in what Adidas needs to do to kind of reinvent themselves, or is it really, really getting fucking boring? What the Ultra Boost has been doing the last 3 years, because the ones were hot, the twos were kind of hot, threes were dead. Now we got the fours coming up as early as a month from now. So how do you feel about the new Ultra Boosts?
Trash. It looks just like the Ultra Boost 3s. Trash. The only way that they're going to make an outcome of this hole that they've dug themselves in is if they release the Future Craft ones, and they only do it very limited. All these different colorways and this and that, and with all... It's just like the NMDs. The NMDs have actually gotten uglier, if you've noticed. So I personally think that they're trash, and it's definitely something that I will not give any of my money towards.
That's how I feel too. It's just I've kind of maxed out on the Ultra Boost collection. Until I destroy some of them, I might need to replace one or two, and they'll be strictly for wearing, like they'll be utilitarian only. Like I'll be like, I need to walk really far and I'll get an Ultra Boost. Not so much, oh, this shit is hot, I need it right now. That phase for me with Ultra Boost already passed. I'll be like, I kind of miss having a nice cushy shoe. Maybe I'll get an Ultra Boost. That's probably the reason why I would get it again. So
Like for me, the cushion doesn't do anything. Like after a while, my foot just is like, I use the terminology. It's like when you get into bed and the pillow's nice and like cold, and then you're like, this pillow just needs to get turned over. I'm fucking over it. Like that's how an Ultra Boost feels for me. Like honestly, I will say this night to day. I will say this 24 hours a day, whatever. Vapor Max is a way better shoe. But thank you guys so much for joining tonight. We will see you next week. Same time, same place. And we're out.